How are you guys preparing mentally and physically for Shanghai this weekend?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of excitement around the club. History-making game, first international game for a lot of us boys, and after a win and Port Adelaide are in good form, it's a massive challenge ahead of us. But physically, we're feeling pretty good, and we're leaving early, obviously, so we can get acclimatised to the weather over there. But I think there's just a big sense of excitement around the club at the moment. We don't get a lot of that Melbourne media up here. Unless you tune into the radio stations and that, but definitely not. Tommy Lynch, myself and leadership group have addressed the boys around potential issues that may happen, like we could get delayed, could be bad food one night, all these arranged problems that could happen, but at the end of the day there's nothing we can do about it, and the game's going ahead, and we're looking forward to embracing it rather than complain about it and saying it's not like Australia. Well, too bad, we're going over to make history, and that's what happens. But the boys are all optimistic and looking forward to it, and I'm sure if there is any hurdles we'll address them and there'll be minimal complaints.
And the talk about smog and asthma sufferers and all this sort of stuff maybe not going, anyone on your team that would be in jeopardy to not make the trip to China?
Nah, Fish, I think I love my international sports, and they play there every week, in China, and so they're some of the best athletes in the world, and if they're good enough to play there, I don't see why we can't play there. So that hasn't been a factor. Our sports scientists have looked into that, because obviously we're very lucky in Australia to have such great conditions to play in every week, but it's all part of the challenge of going over to China. But no one's hesitant about going because of the smog or anything like that.
What is the turnaround? So you were saying you leave on Wednesday, and then when do you actually get back?
We get back on Monday. A few of us are staying a few days later because we've got the bye the week after, so that's great because it would have been pretty hard to back up a game. But we got the bye, and then we're not due back till next Saturday after the game, so we've got plenty of time for recovery and before we go to Alice Springs to take on Melbourne. So.
Steve, what are your thoughts on the football game you're going to be playing, mate?
Yeah, there has been a lot of talk about the conditions.
Played some good periods of football, and they're going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, no, Port Adelaide, they've surprised me a bit. A couple of years ago they were really like that top four side, and they dropped off, but now it looks like Kenny's got them playing some of the best footy again. I've watched a lot of their games this year, and they've been very impressive. So no different. We took on Geelong on the weekend, who were sitting near the top of the ladder. So we just see it as another great challenge, and to go overseas and represent the club, but also the code AFL in China against one of the best teams at the moment, it's really a great challenge.